Hey everybody, this is Adam Roseland with webodonics.com, and today's podcast is going to discuss the top 7 reasons why your practice might be losing out on new patients. So the first of many reasons here that I'll be addressing is that you don't have a website. This is pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised how many dentists and orthodontists out there still do not have a website. Your website, your dental website, is the digital face of your practice. You can talk about word of mouth. You can talk about doing social media. You can talk about all the advertising you're doing. But more and more people are searching for a dentist or orthodontist online via search engines, using social media or local directories, or they have that word of mouth, or they're getting reviews, and these searches increase with each and every single year. But if you don't have a website, you're missing out on being found, because that's where people are going to go once they go into the search engines. They're looking to do research. They're looking to do homework on you and your practice. And if you don't have a website, then they're just not going to be able to contact you. So the first and foremost thing you absolutely need to do is you have to have a website. Whether you build it yourself, you use a dental web design company, or you use somebody that's outside of dental, it doesn't really matter. You just absolutely have to have a website. Now, the look and feel of that website are obviously going to play into the way people trust you and look at your practice. So, you don't want to just slap up anything, but anything is still better than nothing. So the first step is make sure that you have a website. The second reason that you might be losing out on new patients is if you're not using social media. If you don't use social media, you're not working with what today's generation is actually doing to communicate word of mouth. So back in the day, you probably, if you're an older practice, you built most of your business on word of mouth, or certainly a good portion of your clients have come in through word of mouth. Well, today, dentists and orthodontists are not appreciating the power of social media, and a person's health is one of the most important things a person possesses and talks about. So what people are doing is they're talking about themselves via social media, and the good experiences, the negative experiences, and the like via social media. So when they're having those conversations, you need to be out there. You need to be communicating about your practice to the people that are saying, hey, you know what, I just had a great experience with Dr. Johnson. And you have to say, hey, thank you. I'm glad that you had a great experience at our practice today. And make sure you link it to your Facebook page or what have you. You need to build trust, and trust is built via referrals from family, friends, colleagues, and even other websites. But social media carries a tremendous amount of impact when it comes to building that trust. So not only do you have to build the profiles, you have to put up information about you in those social media profiles, and you have to be active on those social media profiles, and you have to be sharing relevant information. So the third reason you might be losing out on new patients is you haven't officially claimed your Google Places listing. So currently, when a person searches in Google for a local service provider, such as a dentist or orthodontist, the results will often include local maps. They'll include results based on a user's IP address. And what appears in these local search results depends on a number of factors. But one of the more important factors is whether or not your business address is officially registered with Google through Google Places. If Google does not know that you have an official business at XYZ address, then there's less of a chance it will appear in their Google Maps results, which powers the local search results that a user is going to see. So if you're already appearing in the results, be sure to officially claim your listing. If not, you should create your listing immediately. The next reason you may be missing out on new patients is your website is outdated. I talked about this a moment ago, that your website is a representation of your brand. And if you are showing off your website and it looks like it was built in 1998, or you have stock photography from 1998, is the address you put on your website old? Is the site itself broken? Has it been more than 6 months since you updated your website with any kind of fresh, relevant content? Many dental professionals forget that their website is a marketing tool, and that it must always be updated with new and engaging messaging and content. Not only do people love fresh content, but the search engines reward it and they reward websites with new content that's continually updated on a regular basis. It's a win-win when you update regular. Keep your patients and prospects happy and keep the search engines happy. So the next reason that you might be losing out on new patients is there's no easy ways to contact your office. In an ever-changing, fast-paced culture that revolves more and more around the mobile phone, it's more important than ever to make sure you give your visitors the most effortless website experience possible. Most of the time, when a visitor reaches out to your company via your website, they want to call you, schedule an appointment, or just get general directions. Making sure that it's easy and obvious how to find you and how to do this will ensure that potential patients won't leave your website out of frustration or distraction. This means having easy to see buttons, click to call phone numbers, and clickable text-based addresses that open a map. One of the things that we really focus on when building websites ourselves for our clients is call to action. Make it very crystal clear what you want a user to do when they're on your website. If the reason that your website is there is to set up a consultation with a prospect, and you do that by having them pick up the phone and dial, make that the most important thing people see on your website. Don't hide your phone number at the bottom. Make it clear, make it stand out, and make it easy to see. The first thing you see on your website should be your phone number, because that's what you want. You want people to pick up the phone and call your office and schedule a consultation. So make it clear. The sixth reason that you might be missing out on new patients is because you do not have any online reviews. Having a website that's easy to use helps to establish trust with potential patients. Being active in social media will reinforce that trust. But having online reviews from past and current patients that others can easily read or watch will oftentimes seal the deal for that new patient. The more satisfied a patient is, the higher the chances are of that person becoming a raving fan of you and your practice. Be sure to always over-deliver and guide happy patients to the proper review websites, whether it's Google, Yelp, Yahoo, Facebook, or even on your own website, to leave their amazing account of the awesome care they just received at your office. I always recommend that you absolutely have your testimonials and reviews on your website so people don't have to go to Google or Yelp or Facebook to find that information about you. Make it easy for them to find, but make sure it's good and clear. And always make sure you respond to any negative reviews. If you're going to respond to a negative review, wait 24 hours and then take the conversation offline. So if you see a negative review, wait 24 hours and then respond and say, hey, Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry that you didn't have an experience that lived up to expectations. It's our goal to make sure every patient has a wonderful experience. I'd like to discuss a solution with you. Please call my office and we can have a conversation on how to make your experience the best or how to make up for your poor experience. And leave it at that. So that way people see that you're addressing it, and most importantly, you're getting the conversation offline. Never get into a verbal dispute online where people can see it, because those online disputes will last a lifetime on the internet and people will always come back to see it. So that is a lose-lose opportunity. The final reason that you might be losing out on new patients is your website is not mobile optimized. According to a Google study, mobile optimized sites increase click-to-call ratios by 10 to 30% for businesses. There are now more mobile phones on earth than there are people, and with more people searching for local services via mobile phone each day, it is really important to make sure they have the best experience possible on your website, regardless of device. In other words, it's time to get mobilized. For more tips and tricks on how to make sure that you're capturing new business, please visit webodontics.com and check out any of our blog posts, and feel free to comment if you had an experience that's different from these, or if you want to explain your own experiences. We look forward to your feedback. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast, and I'm looking forward to sharing more insights with you in the future.